so we kept giving discounts all over Southern America in our travel agencies.
So all the people that are here that are 100% Mexican, will Aeromexico fly them home for free so they can't live here anymore? Can we do that? Can we get the 100% discount for all the people that I don't want in this country? Like, so you're taking on our deportation program,
That's exactly the interpretation of this that we should do. It's like, but also like I don't even know.
This is how Mexico's going to pay for the wall. Like, they're going to fly everybody back on Aeromexico for free, the 100% discount. Is there anything?
I'm not even sure if this is real or if this is a comedy sketch, but
I don't know.
Let's go with it. Let's pretend like it's real, and if it's not, then like people can call us dumb and we'll ignore them. But
DNA discounts. There are no borders within us.
I think this is probably fake, but no, it's really fun.
It's
even if it's fake. Like, let me see something. Is this real?
That's the problem. This is
actually
this is a serious post-law situation. You're like, the reality is worse than the parody.
Yes, yeah. Well, no, this is real. So, according to Huffington Post, it's real. So, hilarious Aeromexico ad trolls border wall debate with Mexican DNA discounts. So, I don't think that they're really doing the DNA discount.
I don't think they give any of those people actual tests. So you tell me that skinny old guy that was saying that's bullshit. You tell me that guy submitted a DNA test to these people?
I think that these are actors, dude. I think it's all. It's if they did. This is a comedy sketch. Now the question is, did Aeromexico do it? And it turns out that they did. I don't even think they're doing this program. I wish that they were, because as you said, then we could say, hey, every 100% Mexican person gets a free ticket back to fucking Mexico, courtesy. You know, we're building a fucking deportation program, and Aeromexico is going to pay for it.
Yeah, that's how
100%. So yeah, but it's essentially this is them. This is another just like attack on the idea that white people exist, right? And of course, it's another acknowledgement that, you know, white people are affluent and successful and aren't deserving of discounts because they can pay their own way. And in fact, they count on, like, I need a discount because I'm Mexican. Come on, and you're taking up the slack, whitey. White people could do with discounts occasionally, but the issue is not even that. It's just like they're attacking the very concept, because those people are not like this. Those were actors. Those were paid actors. Yeah, I mean, that guy, that's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
That guy wasn't 22% Mexican.
Not
right.
Not
you'll notice that, like the really white, rednecky, hickey looking guy, they gave the most Mexican. Why?
Yeah,
because that's like their stereotypical guy that they attack. Remember when that
don't judge a book by its color. Skin color doesn't give it.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what they're going for. Remember when that white supremacist guy? He wasn't a particularly bright guy. He was some kind of
like 18.
Probably he might have been an actor. He went on like Oprah or some shit. And
it was one of these talk shows.
Look out! We did a DNA test for you, and he went. He like got all mad. It's like, yeah, good job being like the literal exactly what they wanted. But their whole thing is, like, they want to troll you on their fake idea of what this is about.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you think you're purely European? Huh? Well, think again. But it's like, first of all, fuck you. Like, that's not true. Like, those people aren't part Mexican. Also, what does it mean to be part Mexican? You want to talk about an identity that's like kind of fluid and not clear. Mexicans. Because Mexicans are a mix, and there are mixes all up and down the scale of Europeans and Indians. So there's some people that are almost totally white, and there's some people that are totally Indian, and everything in between. And that's Mexico. It's already a mongrel country. We weren't until, you know, they decided to come.
Yeah, isn't like Vicente Fox like Lebanese or some shit? Like, these people, they just come here and you be Mexican.
Yeah, they got Arab admixture and stuff in there too. Weird. There's this long relationship between Spain and Lebanon, and there's like a.
And it's like, I also want to let Aeromexico know that I like airplanes. I like burritos. Don't like.
Okay, so that's Mike Enoch and his co-host, Seventh Son, on the Daily Shoah podcast, a white nationalist, neo-Nazi podcast, on which until recently was only hosted on an obscure website called therightstuff.biz. Recently, because let's say YouTube has not been keeping their eye on the back door, the Daily Shoah podcast has slithered onto YouTube And now I feel an obligation to respond to their content like I do to all the other white nationalist propaganda on this platform. You may have seen debates between me and Mike Enoch before, but I had never clipped their content because I don't want to introduce my audience or initiate people into white nationalist content that's not already infesting this platform. But now I have no choice because they showed up here, and so they're going to, become part of the rotation of channels that I criticize here. And today, their great big idea is in regards to the return of the idea of blood quantum. Now, particularly, in the United States of America, blood quantum has been used to create oppressive laws and law enforcement around racial and ethnic heritage. Probably the most recognizable to people would be the one-drop rule in the American South, which qualified someone as a member of the black race, even if they had, because of course they weren't doing genetic testing back then. What they would do would be to examine your family tree. And of course, this was a means by which to disenfranchise, marginalize, terrorize people, and keep them from participating in society at large. And by making this extreme qualifier, this extreme standard, one drop of black blood is enough to make you, again, no longer qualified for basic human rights as black people were at the time. And some would say that this continues to be sort of a de facto oppression that exists today. So it was originally sort of reactionary, and what kind of scares me about all this stuff, and Mike seems to be aware of it here, is that liberals have now started to try to use the blood quantum argument or framing towards the ends of establishing liberal tolerance. And I don't think that I think that the people that are making this sort of flip of the argument are trying to do so in good faith, and they're committed to creating a more tolerant society, etc., by creating, supposedly an evidential standard for the fact that no one is pure Aryan or whatever, and we're all one species, one race. Yes, that's fine. The problem is, in politics, particularly, because framing is always very, very important. You can end up giving your opponent power, not even by agreeing with them, but just conceding that their frame, that the parameters of the debate endorse their ideology. And that's the problem we have here, is that this is a nightmare of bad framing. You don't want to create a society where we measure the extent to which people are white or non-white, or firstly, 23andMe is based on very faulty science. Very, very faulty science. I'm going to link a video by a fellow YouTuber named Drolasta, who examined how incredibly faulty these genetic coding, blood quantum services. They'll tell you what part of Europe you're from, and do you have 2% sub-Saharan African ancestry, and are you secretly Asian, and all that stuff. Capitalism has created a gimmick related to a form of marginalization and a form of legalized oppression that, of course, because they're always, sort of a sister relationship between American racism and German Nazi race laws. There were Aryan certificates that were based supposedly on blood quantum, where people would have, similar to American blood quantum laws under Hitler's reign, people would have to have their family trees examined, and they would have to be certified as Aryans and carry this Aryan certificate around with them as part of their papers, so that they could be you had to qualify with this Aryan certificate to be protected by the laws of Nazi Germany. And so this was also true in the American South during, like I mentioned, segregation. And, so these guys are having a grand old time. Mike and Sven love that sort of tone-deaf liberals have sort of fumbled over the alt-white, that's quite a slip, the alt-right's framing of race and the alt-right's preferred means by which to designate people as part of ethnic or racial groups. I think that this Aeromexico ad is just kind of doing this for sort of entertainment purposes, or is at least flirting with like parodic elements here. But I think that even stepping into this, firstly, widely debunked, morally dubious idea of sort of divvying out rights and privileges based upon supposed genetic entitlement. I think this stuff is very and of course I'm pro indigenous rights, and I know that sometimes these blood quantum laws have been used in the United States of America to designate benefits to people with Native American ancestry. But even then, the blood quantum laws have been very imperfect and very unevenly applied. And most importantly, blood quantum generally, from my understanding, amongst native peoples in North America, was not the means by which people identified themselves as members of a group. Mixing of tribes was the ideal means of different groups relating to each other. The idea of purebloods is a largely European invention that was imposed upon native peoples in North America. So, it's just I don't see any benefit. Again, aside of this kind of tickling white nationalists with, you're 10% Mexican or something like that. I just think that that's kind of a throwaway troll, and it's not going to lead to any sort of like transformation in a bigot's mind, because firstly, the easiest way to sort of dispense with this is just to kind of dismiss it. Reactionaries aren't known for acceding to the facts, even if these tools were more accurate. They would just kind of disavow, and then just keep on moving the goalposts until they can sort of remain safe in their bigotries.